My name is Maria Baca, and this is my husband, Master Sergeant Jessey Baca. He is an Iraqi war veteran, serving 2 tours of duty in Balad, Iraq, Camp Anaconda. We are in Stony Brook University Medical Center here in Stony Brook, New York. During my husband's first tour of duty, he noticed that he wasn't feeling well. He would always call me or email me and say, I don't know, there's something wrong. I don't know, there's something wrong. And the first sign was that he started with skin cancer. He touched a part in his nose, just kind of touched and noticed that there's blood. And so that's where the first sign was. And then after that, he started with chronic coughing. He couldn't get rid of a cough, like if he had a cold, constantly had a cold. His sinuses never felt the same. After his second tour of duty and after skin cancer surgery, went back to Iraq, to Balad, same location. When he got there, not even 2 weeks in theater, he got so sick that he ended up in sick bay. At that point, they told him he had what they call the Iraqi crud, that everybody would get it. He's spitting up all kinds of different types of mucus, black and just awful, out of his nose, out of his mouth, and it just continued. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. Then he noticed on return, after serving in Iraq the second time, noticed that he started getting a lump on the side of his face. And the lump, as you can see, is pretty pronounced. It's really big. Turns out he has a cluster, what they call like a cluster of grapes. After many doctors not knowing what to do with him, we finally, out of our own pocket, which we paid all the medical out of our own pocket, we hired a forensic doctor and paid him a lot of money to help us. He started checking him, and he started finding more and more of these tumors, as other doctors would call them nodules. The forensic doctor called them tumors. He said, these are not nodules, these are tumors. They can't get to them because most of them are like a cluster of grapes, but they're intertwined with all the muscles in his face and stuff, so he can't get to them. So we have no idea what those are. Any type of needle aspirations that we've done have come out inconclusive or fatty tissue, but they've never been able to get deep in to figure out what's going on with him. Upon that, the coughing, constant coughing, wheezing, everything from throwing up blood, you know. So finally, after seeking and searching for more doctors, we get one doctor that says, I don't know what's wrong with you. Threw up his hands up in the air in New Mexico and said, I have no idea what's wrong with you. I'll send you to National Jewish in Denver. We went to National Jewish in Denver, and Dr. Cecil Rose out there, first day that we were there, discovered chemically induced asthma. And the list started after that. So she's the one who actually told us about Dr. Robert Miller, and that he was really working hard on the lungs, and he had discovered some illnesses in several soldiers that had served in Iraq. So we got ourselves together and we went to Vanderbilt on our own because the insurance was fighting us tooth and nail about going out of state. But we made it to see Dr. Robert Miller at Vanderbilt. And after several visits, he finally said, we can do the lung biopsy if you want. Left it up to him because it's total volunteer. And after the lung biopsy, your lungs should be nice and pretty. Instead, this is what his lungs look like. He has so many black pigments. He has mesothelial hyperplasia. He has fibrosis. He has emphysema. He has chemically induced asthma. He has chronic bronchiolitis. They found pleura with the gray and black pigments throughout his lungs. After carefully actually comparing him to lungs that we've seen from a few of the other patients that we've met, Master Sergeant Baca's lungs look the worst with all the black pigments. There isn't no cure for it. They haven't found one yet. So it's pretty much a lot of inhalers and a lot of fighting to figure out what else is going on with him. On top of all the lung issues, he also has IBS. The gastro problems are a mess. So it has affected his entire body. His entire being has been affected by all of this. He is not the same person he used to be 5 years ago. He's not the same person at all. He is sick all the time. He can't breathe. He sleeps with full oxygen at night. I think it's more of his pride that keeps him from not using oxygen during the day until it finally gives in. He'll finally have to give in eventually to oxygen all day long. The fight has been awful. Not only fighting our own insurance company to where we finally had to get a PPO instead of an HMO. We've had to fight the VA. We've had to fight the military. Military hasn't given in, neither has the VA, on sending us outside to look for the right help for him. We have fought so hard that we've come so close, actually very close to losing our home. Every time we have to seek medical help for him, it is out of our own pocket. We have been helped, I must say, recently with Air Compassion for Veterans. They have taken over paying for our medical trips, meaning they pay for the flights only. Our hotels, our meals, rental cars is all out of our own pocket. We have accumulated over $57,000 worth of medical bills. So we kind of sometimes say, it's either medical or pay the house payment. You know what? My husband's health is more important to me. We figured we'll move in with the kids. You know, they both have houses, so why not move in with them? The grandbabies want to take care of us, but we fight hard to get him the medical help that he deserves.
Before deployment, I was a half marathon runner. Never no land speed records, but I had a lot of endurance. Now I can't even run half a mile. I just don't have the tools anymore. I have the nerve and the ambition, but I just don't have the air capacity. It's taken away from me. It happened very rapidly.